What awful fate befell the survivors of the Starliner crash? That was, they were all killed by the Marshmen.
Doctor Who is the most important series ever because it has such a huge span, and it's something that, I mean, everybody watching this programme will have grown up with Doctor Who. It is a part of life. It's quintessentially English.
I think Doctor Who has the very best premise of any science fiction TV show ever, because it's the most adaptable. Doctor Who, a Time Lord, someone from out of time and space, can go anywhere and do anything.
And be anyone. The Doctor's handy powers of regeneration have seen 8 different actors play him since he began in 1963, starting out with a tetchy Hartnell, followed by Troughton, the cosmic hobo, Pertwee, the gadget-obsessed dandy, our very own goggle-eyed Baker, the young and preppy Davison, the grumpy Baker, Colin, the wacky McCoy, and that bloke from Withnail and I.
He's a hero. He travels around in a vehicle that's bigger on the inside than the outside. He fights evil. We didn't know for 3 years that he came from a planet called Gallifrey.
Have you ever thought what it's like to be wanderers in the 4th dimension? Have you? To be exiles?
He was a renegade, he was a rebel, and that's why in the 60s, you know, appealed immensely to all of us.
Press the button!
All right, there's no need to shout. Now go away and don't fuss me. Now come back, what's this? It's all right, I know.
I did try sometimes to make him kind of benevolently alien as well, you know, by not being overexcited about some things and then being wildly excited about very small things.
You may be a doctor, but I'm the doctor. The definite article, you might say.
Look here, Doctor, you're not fit.
Not fit, not fit. Of course I'm fit. All systems go.
As we know, he's an alien. He's got 2 hearts. He's from a different planet. But there is a sort of humanistic quality to him.
Leave the humans in peace.
You think I care for the puny plans of my subjects? I shall be the ruler of the entire universe!
As a small kid watching Doctor Who, there was nothing in its own way more terrifying than what you could see there.
It was the first time I remember as a child being genuinely horrified by television, but sort of titillated as well at the same time.
Its monsters were just, you know, simple, raw creatures devoted to power.
A lot of the terrifying creatures in Doctor Who couldn't catch a man walking away from them. So the idea that these creatures would actually be a threat to anyone was fairly ridiculous. I mean, the well-armed soldiers who were always the victims would actually have to stop moving and wait for the great rubber monster to catch up with them before going, ah!
The Doctor battled many foes, from giant plants to the mighty Cybermen and some Morris dancers.
What are you doing?
But there was one evil race that just kept coming back for more.
It was the Daleks that made Doctor Who. It had been on for 4 weeks in the 60s when suddenly they turned up.
Daleks conquer and destroy!
The Daleks have to stand head and plunger above the rest, I suppose.
They just destroy. That's all they do.
Exterminate the Doctor! Exterminate the Doctor!
The Daleks actually became kind of marvellous icons of aggression. They just screamed on one note, you know, no subtlety. Lots of people like that, no subtlety.
My Daleks shall henceforth become the supreme being!
The Daleks were led by prune-faced megalomaniac Davros, who kept their minds on the job of total domination.
You had no sense of the social life of the Daleks, you know, what went on anywhere else, any sexual life they might have had, any, you know, going down as some equivalent of the pub.
Put him in the curry!
To aid the Doctor in his fight against evil, some lovely ladies.
if you look at the girls in the show, they very much follow more or less 30 years of what people thought, you know, a sexy woman should look like.
But in what ways did the Doctor require their assistance?
What would you like me to do?
Well, they were there as, you know, as the crumpets. Yes, that was her function, of sex.
You felt there were certain areas of the TARDIS, and you knew its dimensions well enough to know there was certainly possibly somewhere an Austin Powers type boudoir where certain time-travelling tricks would be utilised for the sake of his sex life.
Look, Joe, why don't you go and get out of that ridiculous garb?
Okay.
One of the Doctor's most popular pals did it doggy style, and even got his own show.
Once they started making it, I think they came to recognise the limitations of K9, given the fact that, you know, he made a noise like a washing machine at full spin and could move at 2 miles per hour even on flat concrete.
When they brought in the robot dog, always a bad sign. I think after that it became increasingly insular. It started addressing only its fans. And I think for most of its last 10 years of existence, it was a fairly shoddy pantomime of what it used to be.
Welcome to the Candy Kitchen, gentlemen.
I'm sure the pleasure's all ours.
I do hope so. I like my volunteers to die with smiles on their faces.
There's no hiding from the fact that the popularity of the series declined, and certainly the blame can't be laid at the door of any of the Doctor Who's themselves. It was just really the kind of stories that they were getting.
And so it was some of the casting, you know, having people like Ken Dodd in it, some people felt was nudging Doctor Who into the areas of light entertainment they didn't want it to be in.
It was trying to compete with an awful lot that had changed in the science fiction universe, certainly on TV and at the movies, and it was getting a little left behind, I think.
Doctor Who was cancelled in 1989, returning just once in a not great American TV movie.
I think he can be revitalised at any stage, because that's the beauty of the creation.
Very well. When do we start?